Good morning. It is January 16th, Thursday. So this morning at 9:46 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon will move into Virgo. So what is happening here? We've got all this earth energy. Mercury rules Virgo, so that's going to put the moon, our subconscious, our emotional self, in alignment with that Mercury in Capricorn. And of course, the sun is also in Capricorn. So both of those are now being ruled by that Saturn in Pisces, and the sun is moving into a sextile with Neptune in Pisces. So essentially, our entire mind and thought process, and subconscious and consciousness, all of it is all kind of getting in alignment in a way that we can kind of see things a whole lot more clearly. And then the only aspect that the moon makes today is an inconjunct to Pluto in Aquarius, which can be like a shift in thought and a shift in what it is that you're trying to do for yourself, based on some type of kind of aha moment or an awakening type of event that makes you kind of basically stop and go, what am I doing here, right? Why am I still doing this? Why am I living life a certain way? Whatever. I noticed something today on TikTok where there are tons of creators now saying that because we're going to lose TikTok, they're just going to start speaking their mind. And that's really kind of what I'm seeing here today is this finally everything clicking and deciding that you're just going to go your direction and do your thing because it feels like everything else is falling apart, right? It's just this moment of, why do we have to wait for the threat of losing something before we finally speak up, before we finally say something? Why are we always shrinking ourselves and trying to stay in a little box to make everybody else comfortable, to fit into what society thinks we should fit into, right? And that's really kind of where I'm seeing today going, is that moment of what on earth am I doing with my life? And making that shift towards doing something for yourself. Now, there is still this big energy of making sure that you're doing your shadow work, making sure that you're working on yourself. All of these inner planets, the personal planets doing these retrogrades is the time to work on yourself, figure yourself out, work on healing your traumas and things of that nature, because you can't see things clearly when your mind is clouded with fear and trauma and hurt and a lack of self-confidence and things of that nature. When you're still in a reactive mode because of trauma, it's really difficult to see things clearly. You're always going to be reacting and you'll have a hard time slowing down and actually processing things to figure out what your next step needs to be. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is we're like in that moment where something is going to give to where you go, oh shoot, I need to slow down and figure out where I need to go for myself. Okay. If you're struggling with the whole shadow work thing, leave a message, send me an email, something along those lines. Hit me on one of the other social medias and send me a message, because I do offer shadow work readings. We talk about shadow work a lot, but nobody really tends to talk about where do you even start? Like, what do you even do? It's different for everybody because everybody has different traumas, okay? And if you're looking for like a more personalized, where do I start thing, let me know. I do have readings that I do specifically for that. But as I said, it's a little bit of an awakening day and time to really start listening to your spirit guides, having those good boundaries, moving forward for yourself, building those foundations for yourself, because things outside of us are starting to get real iffy, and you can't control anything outside of you, but you can control yourself in those things, okay? So the energy of the day is the Tower. So this, like I said, an aha moment, an awakening moment, a event, tower type of event, things falling apart kind of event that leads to us going towards that Nine of Cups. This is what we're focusing on, that wish fulfillment, the emotional fulfillment, moving away from this thing that is falling apart, that is out of your control, and taking control of what you can in yourself and moving forward for you, following your dreams. When Saturn is in Pisces, it is the time to be working on your dreams, making your dreams a reality. And right now is that time, okay? We are avoiding the Queen of Swords. You don't actually have to say anything to anyone. Just do it. You don't have to argue with people. You don't have to... Again, like that reactiveness, I am horrible about that. I'm like one of the most reactive people in the world. I will put people in their place really, really quick when they trigger a trauma of mine, right? But sometimes we don't actually need to do that. We've got to get better, quite honestly, I think as a collective, of just walking away and not even arguing it. The fact is, most of the time, by the time that you've hit a point where you're Queen of Swords yelling, you've probably already said it 1,000 times. It doesn't need to be said anymore. They're not listening. Just do your thing and stop worrying about what other people are doing. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. So there's like this underlying energy. These last couple of days have actually felt pretty good, like energy-wise. And maybe that's something that's kind of like driving you to say, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to deal with that kind of life anymore. It's time to do something for me. So there's like this passion and drive underneath that's pushing you here. Let's pull our clarifiers for the Tower. We've got 7 of Cups. That is confusion, options, like a lot of stuff going on and not being able to see it clearly. There's a real close tie to intuition today, so this could very well be like aha moment that clears the fog in this confusion. And 3 of Pentacles, this could have something to do with work, networking, co-workers, people that you, it could be clients, things of that nature. It's I'm gonna be honest with you, I think we're gonna start seeing like, I know it's kind of started already, but I think it's gonna keep getting worse, like a mass exodus of employees, because we're just not putting up with crap anymore. And that might be a little bit of what we see happen today. It's like the thing, when the world outside of us is getting so wonky, it's hard to go to work where you're miserable and you're told to sit down and shut up and just do your job or whatever. And the workplace politics and things like that, like we hit a point where we go, what am I doing? I hit this about a year ago and ended up quitting, right? You hit a point where you just go, this isn't what we were created for. And you may be finding yourself hitting that point today where it just all becomes clear. We're like, what on earth am I doing here? Okay. Well, clarifiers for our 9 of Cups. Let's see. We've got 6 of Swords moving away to an Ace of Cups. Okay. So we're focusing on that wish fulfillment and that, like, you know, making your dreams come true, the emotional fulfillment, right? Moving out of this chaotic mindset, trying to find a more calm peace of mind and finding that new, like, emotional cup, right? Finding a place where you can be happy, you can be comfortable, you can be proud of yourself, right? Like, there is a difference between being proud of yourself because you got something done by a deadline versus proud of yourself because you did something that you enjoyed, that made you happy and fulfilled you, right? So it's like moving out of this chaotic energy into a more emotionally fulfilling space, okay? And then we are avoiding the Queen of Swords. Why are we avoiding the Queen of Swords? We've got 7 of Wands. That is being guarded and having boundaries here. And the Emperor, yeah, you've already spoken your boundaries. If they're still ignoring them, then stand your ground and keep walking, right? So this is very much about guarding your empire, right? The Emperor he's a king, he's an emperor, he's built his empire, right? But he is willing to fight and defend that if he needs to, right? But again, we're kind of at this space where you've probably been speaking up for a while now and nobody's been listening. it's time to just walk away. They're intent on, I think I said this yesterday actually, they are intent on not hearing you, okay? Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands. Things are so heavy. It's time to stop carrying weight that is not yours to carry.